So here we go. It's time for the EBC Brakes Superbike race number 1 from Sonoma Raceway. Clutches are out and a good launch from Beaubier. And it's Toni Elias, though, who will take the whole shot as he sends it on up the hill and towards turn number 2.
And that was the thing. Cameron was able to get over there in front of his teammate, but he wasn't able to beat Toni Elias off the line. Now they're coming down into turn 3. What Cameron's got to try to do now is get by that number 24 as early as he can and get these clear laps. He might try him down into turn 4 right now with that little mistake that we saw from Toni. Nope, Tony's going to run it in there nice and tight, and that's what he does. Look at Josh Herrin.
Oh!
Josh Herrin crashes going into turn 4 right off the start, Greg, and takes somebody with him. And I'm trying to see who it is he took with him. It might have been Jake Lewis. I couldn't tell.
Maybe J.D. Beach, possibly. It's hard to say, but it looks like the rider he took with him that he collected is going to be up and okay.
I couldn't tell who it was, Greg, that went off there with him. And
it might have been Jake Lewis.
Can we see back to the front here? Toni Elias leads their way down through the S's here on the first lap. This is going to be the next primary passing spot. Cameron Beaubier just
Beaubier was in there so deep. Toni just slammed the door on him.
And we got all kinds of guys going straight. You can see at the bottom of our screen there, it's Cam Peterson and David Anthony.
Yeah.
And we are getting confirmation that it was Jake Lewis that went off into turn 5 as well, turn 4 as well. Make it to where if Cameron's going to go by, go down around the outside. There's a shot from Cameron's going to just try to stuff it right up underneath him. Can he get it stopped, Greg? That's the question.
Oh no!
Man!
Cameron Beaubier asked too much of that tire, and down he goes.
That's it. I mean, that literally, you called it exactly right, Greg. He just got in there. He tried to get in there tight because he was so desperate to get by Toni. But that's the kind of line that Toni runs. He's going to make it hard for you because he's so good braking, and he's looking at that bike now, and that bike doesn't look so good. Garrett Gerloff now is going to try to take the chase to Toni Elias as they run up into turn 7. And Gerloff, fresh off that win at Laguna Seca, is going to see what happened to his teammate, and he's going to go after Elias now and try to get his second win. Cameron's made the decision, and like I said, can he hold in tighter? But he just loses the front right there, and that's that. Yeah.
That was a bump he probably hasn't experienced because he was offline, missed the apex. He was in so deep. Trail braking into that corner, and now he's going to hang out with Josh Herrin, who's off to the right-hand part of the screen.
So if you weren't watching earlier, Aussie Dave actually crashed this morning in practice, managed to get the bike back together and get out for the qualifying session, finished 6th. He was scrambling to kind of get that bike back together even on the grid just now, and he discovered that the crash from this morning, he actually had bent triple clamps and wasn't sure if he'd be able to finish the race. So I'm thinking that's probably what happened out there.
Again, like we saw here you go, look at Garrett. He stuffs it up underneath Toni going in to the carousel and gets past him.
What a move by Garrett Gerloff on the inside as Toni Elias decided to leave the door open. Gerloff just snuck it in there, but we know Toni's a fighter. He's not going to do it here, so Gerloff, he knows. This is the thing about Toni, though, Jay. There's the ghost of Toni always. Where is he going to strike? And Gerloff's thinking behind him. But Garrett Gerloff, last time we saw him, he won the race. The largest margin of victory so far this season, 4.4 seconds. He now leads here at Sonoma Raceway.
Eric Gerloff went 37-0 on the last lap there, running second place. I'm watching Josh Herrin run down the hill here. You see Cameron behind him. But that was the incident from Cameron Beaubier. So now let's see if Toni can get himself into a rhythm that the Yamahas have shown that they've had some pace today. 37-1 that time by for Garrett Gerloff. 37-1, 37-8 for Toni Elias. And you can see, Greg, a slight little gap. And they finally have gotten out there to pick up Herrin.
So Josh Herrin on his way back. And this was the incident at the beginning, Jay, where Herrin just lost the front, and off he goes into the weeds. Went to check the bike, and nothing there.
Yeah, and you can see he's just far back, and he's gone up underneath Jake, and Jake's very lucky that he didn't crash. I mean, he's very, very lucky that he didn't fall, and he had some runoff there. Back in the day, there would have been no runoff there, but with what Sonoma Raceway has done over the years here to house the motorcycles, they've given us a lot of runoff, so that's good. You got to come to the pits. You got to get in. You can see the black flag is going to be displayed around the track.
Of the EBC Brakes Superbike class, Cycle Gear Championship of Sonoma, race number 1. A race of attrition, a race of cat and mouse, of control. Garrett Gerloff casually taking
a clear look at that checkered flag. Yep, no
Garrett
doubt.
Gerloff, fastest lap of the race, a 1:36.8. Did that back on lap number 6, has backed it down to the 39s, managing an 11.8 second lead at the moment. Garrett Gerloff, foot down to the checkered flag, will take his second EBC Brakes Superbike victory in a row, the second of his career. Standing up, enjoying it. Congratulations all around as we await the arrival of Toni Elias. And here comes your would-be champion, Toni Elias, the 2017 champ, will pad his lead. Come across the line in second spot. Matthew Skultz, wheel in the air, and a stand-up wheelie across the line to finish in third spot to wrap up our podium. So great job for the Westby Racing team after a miserable start to the day of Matthew Skultz putting his Yamaha R1 on the deck, and he rewards his crew for their hard work with a podium. JD Beach will finish in fourth place.
It's all going to be off the start, and you can see Tony's ready to go. All these guys are ready to go, but it's a matter of getting this jump.
Superbike race number 2, EBC Brakes Superbike, and Cameron Beaubier, a good launch, but it's Toni Elias trying to find some room around the outside.
Cameron needs to just, oh, there he goes. He's got it, Greg. He should just go right to the inside, going up into turn 2, which he does. Cameron's got the start that he wanted. Now he's got to get his head down. And there's a view out the back of Toni Elias' bike. And you can see back there Garrett Gerloff, our winner from yesterday. And Jake Lewis is going with Garrett. Is that That's Jake Lewis.
Oh, no.
Jake Lewis is tipped off in turn 7. I saw the yellow helmet for a minute.
Yeah.
Then I saw the size. And I'm like, it's definitely not Toni. It was Jake Lewis.
Out of fourth place, the M4 X-Star Suzuki rider crashes out in what could have been his best finish. It's early days for sure, but Jake Lewis was in a really good spot as they were pulling away from this pack. But Matthew Skultz, Westby Racing, fourth place, just ahead of Josh Herron, number 2, and JD Beach, number 95. JD coming off of a ridiculous week of racing. Ridiculous.
Yeah,
2 flat track, different disciplines, TT, half mile, and now Superbike road racing. Kid's got to be worn out a little bit.
And looking at somebody's bike here, Greg.
That's on board. That's Toni.
Is that Toni Elias?
Toni Elias,
wow.
Our championship points leader.
You know, when they were coming in here, I heard something scraping, and I didn't know what it was, but that's Toni in turn 7.
So Toni Elias with a big chance. He was 1 second behind Cameron Beaubier. Let's take a look at the replay and see what happened, Jay.
This is going to be coming out of the carousel. You see Garrett Gerloff has closed up a little bit, and as well, Toni had closed up that half track, the last half of the track on the first lap. This is where he's been testing himself all weekend going in here. I've seen him run wide there so many times, but you're going to see he just loses the front, Greg. Loses the front, probably broke a handlebar off or did something to where he couldn't get the bike picked back up, and you can see how aggravated he is. This is, I tell you, this is just giving Cameron and both these Yamaha guys a bunch of points. 25 and 20, it's 45 points he's handed back to the Yamaha today.
Listening to the throttle.
Just listen to it.
Beautiful sound of that Yamaha R1 engine.
It's going to short shift it out of here. Nope. Keeps. Yep, there's a short shift up to third. It's going to go back to second now for turn 11. Maybe sound like 2, actually. Nope, that's going to be second out of there, Greg.
Yeah.
Up third, and he's going to go back to second again for turn 1. No doubt.
Is this a
no
look
doubt.
at Max?
Oh, man, he got high-sided, too. That's a high side off the inside, folks. So basically the rear snaps around, and you're hanging off the inside of the bike, and it snaps back so quickly it throws you off the inside of the bike. So it's actually the better way to go. if there's a good way of high-siding,
yeah.
it's a better way to go. But just glad to see Max is up and okay. Gerloff
Cameron
knows.
Beaubier,
Yeah, Cameron Beaubier. He knows. Oh, there we go. Josh Herron slides up underneath
what
Matthew
a move.
Skultz and gets him out of the way, gives him a little wave. And now we'll see if these two guys can go with this Yoshimura Suzuki. Has a good pass from Josh Herron, but we've kind of been waiting for it. I kind of thought that was going to be the spot that he did it.
Take a look at this pass, Jay.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this. He kind of gets in there, hit Matthew's knee, but they were kind of in. It's just a racing thing there, and you see Josh gives him a little bit of a wave. And,
Josh was committed. I mean,
he was committed to going in there. Yep, no question.
A lot of second gear at Sonoma Raceway on Superbikes. A tremendous amount of second gear. And to average 83.5 miles an hour around here is
amazing.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, pretty fast. I mean, really fast, actually. So you should see the white flag on the left-hand side of your screen as you come from this particular shot. You can see up there, this is going to be his final lap. Garrett Gerloff shaking his head. Not sure why, didn't see it, but maybe ran a little bit wide. Maybe got a little out of the seat. Maybe he couldn't find a gear. Not sure what the reason is. But he was shaking his head up over there. He goes up over turn 1 curbing. But this guy here, he did what he wanted to do all weekend today. I can't remember the last time I saw Toni make a little mistake in the beginning of a race like that, but it happens. It's racing. It's just when it looks like everybody's got it on their side and there's nothing going to happen, it can happen, and this guy's going to get it today.
Here comes Cameron Beaubier, wheel in the air. The Northern Californian, the local rider, wraps up a win here in race number 2 in the EBC Brakes Superbike class. His teammate Garrett Gerloff coming to the line in second spot, and Josh Herron flying the flag for Suzuki plays his race in a perfect way after missing out yesterday, will stand on the podium here in Northern California.